Hi, my name is Jason, and I've been working on a big life experiment that I think would be interesting for those who are trying to get a little bit more out of life. You see, I'm naturally a very negative, pessimistic, uptight person, and as much fun as it is going through life that way, I wanted to see what would happen if I started reading books like these that promise to make me a much happier, better person. So I started living my life more intentionally and listening to these people who were much smarter and wiser and more successful than me. So far, it's brought me to Hawaii, where I live with my family, where I get to spend a lot of time at the beach because I only have to work about half the month. So I wanted to keep this experiment going and even take it up a notch. What I'm going to do is apply these principles, these things that I'm learning in the context of my everyday life, and I'm going to show those to people who are trying to work on themselves as well, so they can get some ideas. And you can see how it works for me and decide for yourself if it's worth the effort or not. And at the very least, I can promise you some beautiful scenery.
So it's another typical weekday for us, and since I only work about half the month and my kids don't have to be in school all day, we get to spend a lot of time outside having fun, which is where we're going now. But first, let me explain what I mean by intentional living. Basically, it means knowing exactly what you want from life and driving straight for it. Now I know this sounds simple, but if it's such a simple concept, then why are so many people not completely satisfied with their lives? How about you? Are you living the life you want? How do you feel about your job or your kids? Would you like to be in better shape? If you're ready to make some improvements, I can help by showing you how to think and live more intentionally. Here's a quick example of someone living unintentionally. A few months ago, I took my two oldest boys on a fishing trip to Alaska, where I once lived as a kid. While on the river, I met another fisherman who told me he loved visiting Hawaii with his wife. They usually went every year, and every time they went, they talked about moving to Hawaii because they were so tired of Alaska's long, dark, cold winters. But every time they returned home to Alaska, they settled back into the routine and let those thoughts of moving drift out of their mind until it was time for the next vacation. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say that so many of us live unintentionally. Life is too short for us to live somewhere we don't really want to be. I know, but it's just not that easy, everybody says. What about your job? What about your kids in school? You can't just pick up and move. Okay, I hear you. Let's be realistic, right? But check this out. In 2019, my wife and I were making a good life for our family in Idaho, but we had just had enough of the cold weather. We had a nice home, and I had a job that I loved that I had to give up for a job that hired me on a probationary status with an exactly 50% pay cut. But we knew we didn't want to live the rest of our lives in Idaho, so we sold our home and loaded up our 6 children, and we just moved. It wasn't easy, but we're here now. So now I'm on my way to go trail running on a beautiful jungle forest trail where I get to demonstrate the benefits of intentional living through my everyday life and help others looking for more happiness and fulfillment. Come along with us on the beautiful Aiea Loop Trail. Now, it's not a coincidence that I have healthy kids who enjoy being outside. My parents taught us this value from a young age, and my wife and I have prioritized passing this value on to our kids. You can probably already sense that health and fitness will be a prevalent theme in these videos, and here's why. Your body houses everything that you are. It is the vehicle that moves you through your existence. It's how you interface with the world around you, so how can you live your best life if your body is not optimized for living? You want to reduce anxiety? Try doing those things you already know you should be doing, like taking care of your health. Before I get too carried away talking about fitness, I need to cover some more basics of intentional living. Now, we already determined that living intentionally means going after what you want in life. Well, what if you don't know what you want? Or what if what you want isn't actually good for you? I've spent a lot of time learning about life from inspiring people who study life and are actually pretty good at it. Like Brian Tracy. In his book Maximum Achievement, he says, some people don't even know what they really want from life. Well, through my observations and experiences and what I've learned about life and happiness, I have a firm take on what I want out of life. And I'll share it with you because I believe it is a universal desire that applies to all humans, and with very few exceptions, the path to happiness is the same for everyone. Just follow me here. So what do I want from life? What do I think will lead to ultimate happiness and fulfillment? Meaningful relationships, especially family relationships. I want to be old someday and be surrounded by my wife and children, but more than that, I want to have done so well as a husband and father that they want to be around me. And just as important is I want them to have grown into adults that I want to be around. Yes, I want to have a good job and I want to make lots of money and live in a big house on the beach and I want to travel the world, but all those things are incidental to building a strong family. All of my goals point to the same place. Take making this video, for example. It's a project to work on with my daughter, and it keeps me accountable by reminding me that every decision I make either moves me closer to or farther away from my ultimate goal. That's just the way life works.
So what's my conclusion after following the advice of just about every medical professional and self-help guru on taking good care of my health? I'm convinced it's absolutely essential to living our best lives. And not just for our physical health, but for mental health as well. Having a fitness routine is a great way to strengthen your self-discipline. And we can't really improve ourselves if we don't have self-discipline. That's a big theme of this book here. I'll share more with you on this down the road. For now, thanks for watching. In the next video, I'll share with you our family budget, as well as some other things we do and what intentional living has done for me, so that you can get some ideas if you want to start living more intentionally.